Okay, so for this is for worksheet 18.2a. Turns out it's we're meeting on a block schedule with distant learning, so we only need to do one worksheet for 2 days. So this turns out to be for March 26th, Thursday. So number one, we're now doing sine ratio. So for sine, definition of sine is opposite side over hypotenuse. Tangent was opposite side over adjacent. Sine is opposite side over hypotenuse. Different segment for the denominator. So there are three sides, 20, 21, 29. So you got to figure out which one of those is opposite and which one of those is hypotenuse. If you have all three numbers, it's pretty simple to find hypotenuse. It's the largest number, but the opposite side, well, you have to go to the angle that was given in the question, which is angle C. So from angle C, you have to go across from angle C. Okay, so just think of it as you start from point C, and then you're going between the two lines inside the triangle. So if you do that, you're gonna hit 21. That becomes your opposite side. Okay, and then we already talked about hypotenuse, but another way to find hypotenuse is you start from the 90 degree. Okay, and then from 90 degree, you could walk across it. You're gonna get 29. So 29 is the hypotenuse. So there's only one number left over. Okay, which is touching the C and touching the 90 degree, and that becomes the adjacent side. So we're not gonna use the adjacent side in the sine ratio. So don't even use it, don't just cross it out. We're only gonna be using two numbers. So sine of C is opposite side, which is 21 on top, and then over the hypotenuse, which is 29 in the bottom. Now, usually we have to simplify this fraction, but 21, 29, they cannot be simplified, so that's your answer as it is. Number three, again, same thing, sine of angle A. A is the point on the left, so across from it, walk across inside the triangle, and you're gonna get 21 is the opposite side. And then, of course, 90 degree across from it, walk across from it, and that's 35. That's the hypotenuse, the largest number out of 21, 28, and 35. And 28 is the adjacent side. We're not going to use adjacent side for sine. We'll use it for cosine later. So I'm going to use numbers 21 and 35. Make sure you put the opposite side on top and hypotenuse in the bottom. And change the numbers. Opposite side is 21, hypotenuse is 35. This time you could reduce by 7. So if you divide it by 7 on top and bottom, you're going to get 3 over 5. And you must reduce, of course, all numbers. Okay, number 5. So we're just solving for x. It's just review. So to get the x by itself, you need to get rid of the 9. So we're going to times by the 9. That will cross out the 9. So you get the x by itself. On the other side, you get 9 times sine of 33. So work that out, you get 4.90. Two numbers after the decimal point again. And then if the x is in the bottom, then you gotta times by the x, so that you end up with x on the left side. And then you cannot stop there. X times the sine of 33. Well, I just want the x by itself, so you divide it by sine of 33. So if you have x in the bottom, you end up dividing. Okay, so 9 divided by sine of 33. So it turns out to be 16.52. Okay, now you're looking for x, and I guarantee you'll always be using sine for this worksheet. No tangents in this worksheet. We'll mix it around later, and that's when you get confused. But for now, everything is sine. So to use a sine, I need the sine of the angle is opposite side over hypotenuse side. Okay, angle, which one's an angle, 19 or 61? Well, that's Kind of sorry for insulting you, but it's the one with the little degree sign, right? 61 degree. So you already decided on degree, so you just need to decide which one is the opposite, which one is hypotenuse. Is it the 19 or is it the x? So decide on that. You need to go to the angle, which is 61 degrees, with a little dot right there. So from the dot, you walk across between the triangle, or between the two segments of the triangle, and x becomes your opposite side. So you have to know which one's an opposite, which one's adjacent and hypotenuse. So x is the opposite, which means across from the 90 degree, that 19 must be the hypotenuse. So put those into the fraction form, x over 19. And then same thing as what we just did. Get rid of fraction, times the 19, and you get x by itself, and that's calculator work after that, 16.62. Make sure you round it. And then number 12, again, there are two sides, x and 17. Which one is the opposite? Well, across from 38 degrees, 17 is the opposite. Across from 90, x is the hypotenuse. So you take those two numbers, put it into the equation. Sine of the, again, angle must be 38 degrees, but with a little degree sign. Okay, opposite side is 17, sorry, and then the hypotenuse is x. So it works the same way, but this time the x is in the bottom. So if you move the x, okay, after you move the x, you get x times sine of 38, and then you cannot have x times something, so get rid of that. It's 17 divided by sine of 38. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, and then just divide it and you get 27.61. Okay, one more question, number 18. So again, I'm going to use the sine only. So angle is 57 degrees. Oh yeah, there are two sides, 10 and x. We're going to try to use those in the fraction form. But the angle is 57 degrees, right? So to find the opposite of the angle, we need to move across. And so 10 is the opposite. And then across from 90, x is hypotenuse. So sine of the angle must be 57 degrees. Then that's equal to opposite side, which is 10, over hypotenuse, which is x. Someone also told me or asked me, angle is always inside a triangle and sides are always outside a triangle. Usually true, but not always. So just go with angle has to be near the point, and segment has to be in the middle of the 2 points, like segments. Anyway, so there's a shortcut for this. We could skip this second line and go to the third line right away. Okay, so I don't know if you should know, but there's a shortcut. But it's just a matter of moving things around. So you move the x, right? So move the x first. X was in the bottom. Now it goes to the other side on top, and then you move the sine of 57. So there it is. So if you try to use a shortcut, it's nothing more than see this sine of 57 and the x. These two things just switch their places. Okay, so you put the x where sine of 57 was, and you put the sine of 57 in the bottom. If you want to use it, that's fine, but I'm just going to stick with my way. Okay, so once you get x by itself, you put the rest in the calculator, and you get 11.92. Okay.